Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show podcast, coming from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today by Ray Ora.
What's up, pussy boys?
Whoa.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Penguin's mom's in here somewhere. Jonathan Voico is here.
That's me.
And, of course, Chris Carr is here.
Coming with some real aggro energy today, buddy.
It's not even Friday.
Oh my God.
Friday yet. But most importantly, you guys are here. Thanks so much for being here, making our little show part of your day. And here's how our show's going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a few predetermined topics we got lined up for you guys. Then in the second part of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. As long as we deem your comment and question to be appropriate to be addressed on our show, fire it on in to www.streamelements.com/JohnCampea/tip. With that down, guys, let's jump into it here, shall we? Everybody is counting down the days, not to Christmas, but to Kraven the Hunter. Everybody around the world in joyous unison.
Is that like Canadian Christmas or something? What
Yeah.
is
Like that. It's coming. And now we found out some interesting information about it. Because according to reports, it is going to be the longest movie in the Sony Spider universe
Yay.
so far.
Yay.
But even at the longest, it's not that long. This comes to us from CBR. Where Kraven the Hunter will have a runtime of 1 hour and 59 minutes. If accurate, this would make Kraven the longest installment yet in the Sony Spider universe, surpassing current record holder Madam Web's runtime of 1 hour and 56 minutes. The other 4 entries in the Marvel franchise clock in at Venom's 112 minutes, Venom The Last Dance is 109, Morbius is 104, and Venom Let There Be Carnage, it came in at just 97 minutes. Surprisingly, despite most superhero movies these days clocking in at well over 2 hours, Sony has kept every one of its non-Spider-Man-led Marvel movies under 120 minutes, so under that 2-hour mark. All right. Runtime does not equal quality, right? And if every movie, I've said this many times, has its own unique runtime that would be best for that particular story the way it's laid out. A movie that's 110 minutes can be too long. A movie that's 140 minutes can be too short. So it really doesn't matter. But clearly they've apparently got some things they want to do in Kraven the Hunter, and they've beefed it up a little bit with its runtime comparatively to their other films. But I am still holding fast that I believe in Kraven the Hunter.
Oh,
That's adorable.
that's precious.
I think this is going to be okay.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Number one, I've liked the trailers. I don't think they've been the best trailers, but I've liked them. I certainly like Ricky Tiki Taki as Kraven.
Aaron
Taylor Johnson. Ricky Tiki Taki. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I definitely like him. I like that they are just throwing off the chains and say, look, we're just going to make it hard R, so we're going to go for it. And they, according to the trailers, seem to lead into that. But most importantly, unlike, say, the filmmakers behind such memorable movies as Madam Web and Morbius, they actually got some really half-decent people. The director is J.C. Chandor. He did that Oscar Isaac, Jessica Chastain movie, A Most Violent Year,
Oh, yeah.
that I quite liked. He did that Robert Redford kind of sailor Lost at Sea movie. This is All Is Lost. And I really like that. And he did a movie I love called Margin Call, which if you didn't see it, it's got Kevin Spacey. The guy who plays Alfred now.
Michael Caine.
Sorry.
No.
Bruce, Ben
Andy
Affleck's.
Serkis?
Yeah, Ben Affleck's.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Irons.
Oh,
Jeremy Irons, thank you. Jeremy Irons, Quinto. If you haven't seen Margin Call, watch it. It's really good. I like it quite a bit. And it's written by a guy named Richard Wenk, who has never written anything Oscar-worthy, but he wrote all the Equalizer movies, which I quite like. He wrote that Jason Statham action film, The Mechanic, that I really like. So he's done a number of films that I really like. So you've got that as the writer, that is the director. I'm just going to call him Ricky Tiki Taki again because I've frozen his name again. Playing the lead, Aaron Taylor Johnson. You got one of my favorite actors in the world, Russell Crowe, in there as well.
As everybody's favorite father.
As every comic book movie character's dad now. But you know what? So I think we are going to get something more akin to the first Venom in this than we got in, say, Madam Web and Morbius. So I hold out hope, and maybe at a 2-hour runtime, that seems like a nice, solid, sensible number. I don't know, Chris, what do you think about the runtime? Any significance there at all? And where's your, how high, 9 or 10, is your expectation for Kraven now?
Nice setup.
Yeah.
Man.
This isn't a leading question at all.
Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. I can't believe that Madam Web wasn't a 3.5-hour movie.
It certainly felt like it.
Yeah, boy, did that drag. I'm not particularly excited about this film. I think, as it was evident from my neat. And that's mostly just because, and I don't know how much validity there is to this, but around the time that we were going to CinemaCon and seeing this presentation 2 years ago, I knew a ton of writers who were being asked to help fix this script. While we were watching a presentation on it, I had so many people being like, oh no, I've been contacted about this.
Wow.
So that was one of the things that gave me pause of, I'm watching footage of it though right now, and it was, yeah, we're still being asked to do punch-ups. Okay,
Wow.
Interesting. Now, I don't know if they went through with that or if these gentlemen, the three that are listed, attached to the project in addition to Richard Wenk, went through and did some rewrites or anything. And rewriting is a particularly normal thing to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Reshoots, rewrites, that kind of thing are very, very normal. It was just such an odd thing to be being pitched a film that has been completed and hearing that at the same time. I also just have so little faith in the Sony-Verse. I feel like they just don't really know what to do with these characters.
And you can't be blamed for feeling that way.
Yeah, there hasn't been any really great, strong movies that have made me go, nah, they got this in the bag. Plus the idea of Kraven being a almost not kinder, gentler, but having an affinity for animals. I'm sure they can make that work somehow, but Kraven the Hunter wasn't a conservationist. Maybe this modern version of it'll work, but a lot of the things I've heard about him and his feelings on animals and also having animal powers from lion blood, I don't, it's not.
It is a little reminiscent of Halle Berry's Catwoman movie,
Exactly.
right? And that didn't turn out well,
Yeah.
granted. But I believe in this.
I'm still going to see it. I know I'm still going to go see it. And then I'll either have
That makes 3 of you.
Hey,
we're going to really bring that box office home. I'm either going to have a really fun time or I'm going to get a little drunk in a Regal and have a fun time.
Or
Either
just
way.
get drunk in a Regal.
an empty theater.
That's my Wednesday.
All right, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? The runtime is now going to be about 2 hours, which surprisingly makes it the longest of the Sony-Verse so far. But where are your expectations like right now for Kraven the Hunter? You can't be blamed if you lack some enthusiasm. I mean, we're coming off of Madam Web and Morbius, for heaven's sakes, and I didn't like Venom 3, even though I like the other Venom 2 movies. I personally have some belief in it, but whatever you guys think, jump into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, a movie that came out in the last bunch of years that I think was horribly underrated was Ben Affleck's The Accountant. I flat out loved that movie. I thought that movie was great and exciting, and I was always sad that we never got a sequel. They always talked about it, never happened. Then we got word a while ago that Amazon had greenlit a sequel, but it looked like it might be going straight to streaming. Well, now we found out it is going to theaters, and it's getting that hard R again. This comes from the folks at Joe Blow, who write the following. Christian Wolff, Ben Affleck's character from the 2016 action thriller The Accountant, will be returning to the big screen next year, and his comeback is going to be a violent one. The Motion Picture Association Rating Board has revealed that they've given The Accountant 2 an R rating for quote-unquote strong violence and language throughout. That happens to be the same rating as that the first movie received. And if you guys saw the first movie, it was very, very violent. Now, of course, John Bernthal's coming back as well. We got this synopsis for the movie. The Accountant 2 has the following synopsis. When her former boss is killed by unknown assassins, Treasury agent Mary Beth Medina, played by Cynthia Addai-Robinson, is forced to contact Christian Wolff, Ben Affleck, to solve the murder. With the help of his estranged but highly lethal brother Brax, played by John Bernthal, Chris applies his brilliant mind and less than legal methods to piece together the unsolved puzzle. As they get closer to the truth, the trio draw the attention of some of the most ruthless killers alive, all intent on putting a stop to their research. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of description I wanted to hear for this. Look, The first Accountant movie was certainly not going to be an Oscar contender by any stretch. And it's not going to be one of the all-time classic action films. But it was a great sit-down watch. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I really like Ben Affleck's character. A high-functioning autism character, the way that they incorporated that into the story, it made it different, it made it unique. I like the supporting characters around it. I mean, the cast was great. His team up with John Bernthal was wonderful. I don't know why no, I do know why. As I say, I don't know why they didn't make this earlier. I do know why. It didn't make any money.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, nobody went to go see it, which is stupid because it was really good.
Yeah, you dummies.
You dummies. So yeah, here it is. It is
out.
now getting that second chance. I'm not expecting this is going to be a big blockbuster either, but I'm just really grateful that they've made it. I'm going to go check it out. Chris, did you ever have a chance to see the first The Accountant? What do you think about what we're hearing for the second one?
I saw it on streaming.
Okay, but you saw it.
Yeah, and it was very great. It was a great film. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was action-packed. It was heckin' violent in all the best kind of ways with a stellar cast. But I don't know why we are getting this almost 10 years later. I still am just a little confused on it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm still a little confused as to just the timeline and also how many people actually do want this movie. Because people who have seen it seem to really love it.
Right.
But
there's just not many of us.
Yeah, it's a vast majority of people who go, what? What is that movie about? The addition to the cast here, too, I'm really excited about. Cynthia, obviously, from Rings of Power, playing Queen Muriel on that. I think she's a tremendous actress, and I'm excited to see her in more things. Getting more John Bernthal in there, as well, is always a good idea. Giving him more screen time is always fun.
Oh, yes.
He's such a tremendous actor, and I know I harp on this all the time. If you have not seen his Hot Ones, when you are done watching the show, go watch that. It is so good. He is an actor's actor. He is such a incredibly fascinating individual. Man, he understands this art form so well. So I'm looking forward to it. It just still makes me kind of scratch my head a little bit that it's happening.
I mean, yeah, it's so long, like a movie that didn't do all that well, so long after the fact.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling this is one of those favor movies. Like Ben Affleck, okay, I'll do that for you guys, but you let me get Accountant 2, maybe, I don't know.
Sure.
All I know is that I am grateful we're getting it, although I have no delusions about how successful it's going to be. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? Getting that hard R for the strong violence again. I love it. Hitting theaters. I love it. Whatever you guys think about this, jump into the comments below and let us know your thoughts. By the way, a quick shout out to Patrick Stewart, who just gifted 20 memberships in the live chat. So thank you for that, Patrick, very much, man. This is great of you, dude. All right. With that down, guys, let's move on to this, shall we? The age of the bankable movie star is over. We've known that for a while. The last kind of remnant of that was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I would still contend, if you put Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson even in a movie that flops, I would argue that movie would have made less money had somebody else played the role other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, Black Adam ended up being what Black Adam was. But if it was anybody else other than Dwayne Johnson playing the character, it probably would have made even less. I set all that up as the framing for this new story. We've got a new movie opening this week, Red One, with some of my favorite people in movies. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Chris Evans, I almost said J.K. Rowling, J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus in it. I remember we first reported on the story of them making this movie like 2.5 years ago, and I had totally forgotten about it. The movie cost $250 million. $250 million. That, hey, listen, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I didn't see any of that on the screen in the trailer. I mean, even the snowmen didn't look all that good. But okay, $250 million. Now that's fine. It just means they got to make a decent chunk of change in order to break this thing even. You're probably going to hope for something in the neighborhood of a 70, 80, 90 to $100 million opening. Well, that ain't happening. Because according to Variety, this thing's going to flop out of the gate. Variety's right in the headline. Dwayne Johnson's Red One targets a $30 million box office opening. That's somewhere in the neighborhood of what Fall Guy opened to and Furiosa. And we know what happened with those. Even though those were both really good movies, they both really underperformed. Variety writes this. Will Red One, a Christmas action comedy where Dwayne Johnson plays Santa's head of security, bring movie theaters a box office bounty? No. The film from Amazon MGM is targeting a $30 million to $35 million opening from 4,000 locations in its first weekend of release. Independent of tracking services are mixed, suggesting Red One could earn as little as 25 million or maybe even as high as 40 million in its debut. Ticket sales on the higher end of that range would be decent for an original holiday film. However, Red One cost $250 million. So either way, the movie will need to have positive word of mouth for a long life in theaters and justify its costs. All right, it should also be mentioned that I believe last time I checked, Red One had a 39% critic rating. Ray, if you can give me an update on that. And, we talked about the first reactions that came out from them. The first 38 now? Yeah. It's gone down. We talked about the first reactions that came out about a week ago, and the first reactions weren't exactly glowing. Some of them didn't like it, but some of them said, you know what, there's some fun to be had here. But it doesn't sound like it's going to get that big word of mouth or whatever. I mean, we're going to ask the same question we asked 2.5 years ago. Who thought this should be a $250 million movie? I
think Vin Diesel's doing the budgeting over there.
Yeah.
He's like, you're going to want a lot of family, so you got to raise this.
Every scene is shot on location.
Yeah.
They trained actual polar bears. It's pretty
real.
impressive.
It was actual real polar bears to train and talk and fight. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Yeah, I can't say I'm totally shocked by this because I'm gonna go see it, but that's only because I'm a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson guy. Like I unapologetically really am entertained by Dwayne Johnson, and I love Chris Evans. So I'm gonna go see this either way. But I'm if it wasn't for those two hooks, I'm not bothering to go see it. I have honestly, literally not talked to anybody in real life. I've had some people in the live chat say they're planning to go to see it. I have not talked to a single person in real life that says they're other than that guy.
No, even
other than him.
Let's point out, even though I am optimistic about this movie, I don't want to go see it in theaters. I want to say that I
feel like it's a bit of a backpedal for me, right?
With the family.
Yeah, I just I have not spoke to
before.
anybody who has said they're planning on going to see Red One.
I'm seeing a different Christmas movie. Yeah.
Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The Nosferatu. The real spirit of the holiday.
That's the real spirit of the holidays.
And so I'm not surprised to hear this. Chris, you hear about this. I mean, look, there's no other way to paint this. A $30 million opening, if it gets that high even, that's a disastrous result for a movie this expensive.
That's horrible. That is truly, truly horrible. And I don't understand how this budget got here. It's just absolutely bananagrams. That being said, it is no secret that I love Christmas trash. I love it so much. I will watch any garbagey Christmas film. So I'm going to be in theater seeing this. I will be seeing like a 10 a.m. matinee. Nice. So I can just kind of heckle the movie to myself and no one else. But I don't understand why people keep making these huge, crazy budget movies, not thinking about the return, because that's what it feels like. I know that there are smart business people working for these companies, and yet, why are we making movies like this that have a gargantuan budget when you already kind of can tell from the story that you are presenting this isn't going to do well? And we know this because we hear from insiders all the time. Oh, we're really not confident in this one. Oh, we are planning on leave it on streaming very quickly. That kind of thing. I need the studios to have 1, more faith in what they're creating, 2, tell better stories, and 3, just hone their budgets in. Because you could make this movie, honestly, with a shoestring budget, and I think it'd be better if it looked really just like public access-y. I think this would be better. And a lot of it does go to the actors who I've talked about this before. I don't think someone at Dwayne Johnson's level needs that much money, frankly. I really don't. There's a bananas amount of money being spent here.
I mean, even $150 to $170 million budget still would have probably got them close to maybe a break even after marketing.
Sure.
This budget
is insane though.
This budget is the same cost as the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible, right? But there was the pandemic that he was trying to work through. Wasn't that
added a lot of cost?
$250 million?
Yeah, that added a lot of cost.
Like somebody in the live chat saying they should have replaced The Rock and got John Cena. if you think that would have made
Come
one more
on.
dollar, it would have made less. It
Yeah.
would, and I say that as a big John Cena fan. I like John Cena a lot. Can't wait for Peacemaker season 2. But I mean, again, I just don't understand. I'm not even really sure who this movie's for. I'm not sure where they're targeting it. Now, look, I'm gonna go see it and hopefully I love it. But right now, not a lot of Christmas spirit I got for this one. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? In one of the most expensive films in years, $250 million, they're talking about maybe a $30 million opening. Are you guys planning to go see it? Do you think maybe you could turn this around? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to take a second now and thank a couple of sponsors of the John Campea Show podcast, our friends at Miracle Made and The Perfect Gene. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, The Perfect Gene. So the colder season is here, and guess what? I am living in the perfect gene. These jeans are super stretchy, soft, and totally trick people into thinking I've got my life together. And I'm telling you this because I actually love them. These are absolutely, no questions asked, my favorite jeans that I have ever owned. And yes, the folks over at The Perfect Gene are paying me to say that, but it's still absolutely true. These are my favorite jeans ever. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. And listen, the Perfect Gene isn't even just pants. They've revolutionized t-shirts as well. The Perfect Tee has just enough stretch to hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and chest for that flawless look. My guys, it's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use the code Campea at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with the promo code Campea. And after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the John Campea Show and tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the perfect gene.
And thank you so much to our sponsors for making this episode of the John Campea, nay, non-Campea Show possible. That's right, motherfuckers.
Okay.
We're back. We're doing a little Batman Beyond moment here because John realized he had to go get his Red One tickets right now.
Yeah, he did.
So he had to get out of here so quickly. So let's get to some questions that you guys have.
Okay, but I'm still here. So Ben G Worldwide says, I have concerns about DCU with how good the Batman and Penguin were. I'm worried that our DCU Batman will pale in comparison. I'm a lifelong Batman guy, but with Elseworld stories so good, minus Joker 2, what if Gunn's Brave and Bold falls short?
Well, then there's other Batman content that you can go check out. I understand that we want the main universe, the main cinematic universe, to fire on all cylinders, but if it doesn't, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think the fact that one thing is good means that the other's gonna suck.
Exactly.
So
apples and oranges.
Yeah, and you're getting a different style. You're gonna get a more fantastical world. So I think even if it's not to your liking as much, right? Like you prefer this world more.
Yeah.
which I probably will too. It doesn't mean the other is terrible or pales in
No.
comparison. It just means
different.
this is more fun. This is more like aliens and creatures and whatever. Like
Exactly.
you know. So I don't think
Get
one.
fantastical.
I think both things can be true. I think both can be good. You don't have to have one that's bad means the other's good,
Sure.
or vice
I mean,
versa.
it's a reasonable concern that he has. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like because he loves this Matt Reeves Batman and
Yeah,
Penguin
I mean it's
series.
reasonable. I'm just saying.
But the other side to this is James Gunn. He's going to give us a different look, probably way different from what we've been given from Matt Reeves, where it could be a different Batman that's on the opposite side of the coin. You know what I mean? Like I think it's called Brave and the Bold.
yeah.
That title just screams like cheesy, but in a good way, like a cheesy Batman. I don't know, but we'll wait to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right.
Brian O'Connor says, not thrilled with the reviews for Dune Prophecy, to be honest. I wish Denis Villeneuve was as hands-on with these series like how Reeves or Gunn and Gilroy has been with their spin-offs. I hope the studios take note of the differences here with these spin-offs. I mean, I know you're not a huge fan of the franchise anyway.
No.
But I think most people were like, it's really good. It's just that if you didn't watch the movies, and honestly, why are you watching Dune Prophecy if you weren't already kind of into the movies?
Yeah. Unless you work on a movie news show, there's really no reason for
From
you
what
to
I
tune
see,
in.
from what I see, the world itself looks like it fits in with Denis'
Yeah.
like image and what he's doing. Sure, he's not overseeing it like Reeves is doing with Penguin, but I think if you're into that world and you like intrigue style shows like
Sure.
House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, whatever. I mean, I think it'll be fine. So I would have been more concerned if they were like, regardless of whether you saw Dune 1 and 2, these fall flat or it's boring or
Sure.
or the acting is like it's
Really
subpar
bad.
or the directing or whatever. But I think you're going to be okay. Just give it a shot. You know, give it a couple episode shot and see what you think then.
It
maybe-
seems like it's big lore building, which does interest me. My issue a lot of times with some of the Dune stuff here is it feels like the world building is more important than the characters. And that's just my opinion. That's not how everyone else feels, I'm sure. And I need to be really invested in them. But so I'm going into this show of, oh, well, I do think this is a really interesting aspect of this world. I'd like to learn more about it.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna make sure I watch it with like let's say Anne or John, who know a little bit more about the Dune,
Sure.
who have maybe you should watch it with someone who has patience with someone asking questions maybe
Oh,
while
yeah.
watching it.
This is
because
going to be
that's
my
what
show
I'm
with
gonna be
Logan.
doing. Yeah, because as soon as yesterday it was said that the reviews are saying that unless you know the Dune lore, you won't get a lot of the stuff. So, and that's what the position I'm in. But I'm always down for a Max series. I always give episode 1 a chance. So we'll see.
Yeah. Anonymous says, it was mentioned as a joke recently, but I wouldn't be opposed to James Mangold Western style Old Man Blade film. Since so sort of like Old Man Logan, well, Logan, but you know, since we're knee deep in this little multiverse thing, let's get Mahershala and Wesley together.
Ooh.
Could be epic. That I don't think they'll go that way with Mahershala introducing him, but
Yeah.
I would not mind seeing another Elseworlds Blade film.
Sure.
Oh,
After
yeah.
seeing now, because we never actually saw him die, right, in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I still
do
wouldn't
it.
mind seeing an Elseworlds with him.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
but
fun.
like get the Mahershala Ali
yeah.
thing going first.
Shoot, I'd even be okay with like an animated version Elseworlds for Blade, and he's
Ooh,
voicing
with him
Blade.
voicing it. Yeah, that'd be great. Actually, I'd be really into that.
All right, moving on here. We got the Joe Die. It's a 3-parter.
Ooh.
Hey, John and crew. Yesterday, someone asked for recommendations for Thanksgiving movies. Every year around this time, we watch Grumpy Old Men. Yeah, that was when I shouted out. While we love the film, has anyone ever noticed Act 1 of the film is poorly edited? I haven't seen that movie since the 90s, and I was just
Yeah.
kind of dying laughing at that time. So I didn't notice editing back then. But you know what? I'm going to go back and check it out. I honestly have been wanting to see at least the first one again. The night Ariel visits John is the same day John throws the fish on the back of Max's truck. Next, an entire full day of events occurs, including the hilarious lottery scene. The next morning, Max notices the smell of the fish. Then while at Chuck's bait shop, John mentions Ariel came to see him last night. Anyway, still great fun. So it's not editing in terms of choppy, but in terms of
continuity,
assembling the story
Yeah,
and the
sure.
continuity, Interesting. Now I'm gonna go back and check that out.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think of A Grumpy Old Man?
Well, see, I haven't watched that yet since I was a little kid.
Good old Walter Matthau.
Oh, love him.
Oh man.
We'll have to go check it out because that is a great recommendation for this time of year.
Yep.
It's a good one.
Okay. Matan says one thing people don't seem to notice about the Penguin is that also Bill Finger is credited as characters created by. After years being sidelined, I guess that James Gunn pushed as seen for the block of text of creator credits in the Guardian of the Galaxy movies. Well, I didn't catch that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Cool.
So thank you. Suthia says, I see so much negativity, hate, and laugh emojis when it comes to anything promotional of Ironheart. And I have to ask myself, would there be all this negativity if the character was a Caucasian male? Saw the same thing with Shuri being new Black Panther in the promos. I don't know. I mean, maybe from someone who's that, if that's their agenda,
Yeah.
then sure. But I think it's more just like, her character really didn't shine in the second Black Panther that much, and now we're getting a series. It sort of echoes Echo,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, this wasn't a hyped character. Now we're getting a series, and I'm gonna give it a chance. Maybe it's gonna be
Sure.
awesome.
Absolutely.
You know, especially with this new direction Marvel's going. But I think a lot of people are just not taking that character seriously. But I don't.
No. Well, then the second film too was just kind of muddled because they had so many things they wanted to say and had to change so many things. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just a culture war thing. There, it is
No.
obviously with the numbskulls out there that anything is a culture war. But
Yeah.
But no.
And this series is positioned to win us over with this
Mm-hmm.
character. I mean, it was kind of unfair, the introduction of her in Black Panther 2, just because of the circumstances with Chadwick. Everyone was just still, you know what I mean? So this is her solo series. We could get to know the character, and hopefully it works out where we all actually enjoy this character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we only got glimpses of her, and I did enjoy her in Black Panther 2, just the way the character was, her little, how smart she was, and things like that.
But I don't think people left that film going like, man, that character's. I
Yeah.
want to see her in a movie of
Right.
her own or whatever.
It's kind of the same thing we've talked about with Penguin getting a series, right? Where it's the wow, what a standout character.
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was probably already in motion when the movie came out and everything, but still, you at least leave that movie going,
Honestly,
Oz was great.
I would love to see a globe-trotting like Dora Milaje espionage type of series.
hell yeah. That'd be cool.
That's what I'd like to see. Anyway, okay, Scooby Drool with a two-parter. So altogether, it's like $40. Thank you for that tip, man.
Thank you, man.
He says, or she says, hello, John and wonderful crew. Saw Arcane Season 2, Act 1, and loved it.
Yes.
I can't believe that Netflix is ending this fantastic sci-fi show after 2 seasons. Really bites. There are a lot of great Netflix shows that ended just 2 to 3 seasons. That's unfair. Netflix system of when a show doesn't attract more subscribers, it gets canned. What will it take for Netflix to change this dumb motto system? Well, subscribership to just start falling off. I mean, we already see. Well, let me finish the thing. Should I cancel my Netflix subscription if great shows are getting axed too fast? That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, that's dealer's choice right there.
Yeah.
We've seen this happen for years, though, of really great content on Netflix getting either limited runs or getting canceled despite their popularity, just because of the cost of making them, because their model, to quote Daniel Craig, is fucked. It needs to have some changes in it so they can sustain having good quality things on there with great actors, great writers, and great directors. If you are not in the business of making money, your business is not going to make money. It's that simple. They need to start adding theatrical releases. They need to start reeling in their budgets on a lot of these things, because we've seen that too with Gray Man and others, where they had huge budgets. A friend of mine likes to joke that their townhouse was purchased by Gray Man because of all their work on that. So like, they need to reel in these budgets. I'm so happy they got a house, but still, there's a lot that they need to change in order to make sure that they keep the quality content and keep their subscribers on there, because I mean, there really isn't much on there to keep you coming back, especially if they're raising prices and your favorite shows get axed.
Right.
I see it as some cracks are starting to finally show. I feel like Sarandos thought, especially during the actor strike, even more so than the writer strike, that he held all the chips.
Yeah.
And he could just bank the most money. And he held up, and he hurt a lot of people, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of the reasons why the strike went on for as long
Because
as
they
it
were
did.
ready to settle, and he was like, nah, dog.
Yeah.
And I think coming out of that, he thought he was in a stronger position, and now we're seeing a situation where Netflix is not in a stronger position, and now creators are starting to they're putting their money where their mouth is and take tens of millions of dollars less to go to, studios that are going to put their films on screen
Exactly.
in the theater.
It's, Rob said this to me the other day. If you want to make a cultural impact, it's not going to be on something like Netflix where you drop all of your shows.
Yeah.
Or you drop a movie that had almost no marketing and we talk about it for 24 hours. And that's it.
Serranos is what I like to call
A level 4 naughty lister?
yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Wow. Well, you worked it in, baby.
And
You are
I just
excited
want
about this movie. You love that little sound.
I just want to thank Patrick Stewart for a 50. So he already gifted like so many memberships. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. But he just super chatted, stickered us a $50 little sticker there that says you're amazing.
Oh,
Patrick.
So thank you, man. That
a cute little Shiba Inu sticker.
man, thank you so much.
I
for
love
that.
it. That was so nice. Thanks, man.
Patrick. Sorry.
So you know what you get. That's what you
There
get.
you go. That's right.
Yay.
All right.
Vote. I don't know. Who cares? Go ahead. Who cares? Just go ahead.
Dr. Stinky says, "Hey John, and Ray. Hey John, Ray, and Chris. What's some of your favorite war veteran films in honor of Veterans Day? I'll go first. 1917, absolutely beautiful, top-notch film. Also, Arcane is effing perfect. My second favorite show ever made. Whoa,
Arcade for.
nothing can make me hate Jinx.
Whoa.
Was that right?
He said just any war films.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about it yesterday. Dunkirk.
There you go.
Ooh,
I
Dunkirk is
love
good.
Dunkirk. That sound, the sound while they're on the shore, like the beach, waiting, is just that tense feeling that maybe something's gonna come over them and like bomb them or whatever. I love the sound on Dunkirk. It was great.
Yeah. Anything for you there,
Oh,
Corita?
Dunkirk. I really like Band of Brothers. War movies aren't really my jam.
Band of Brothers is
but
amazing.
Band of Brothers is an incredible series.
talking
That
about
was just so
HBO
good.
and
yeah. Oh,
a
it's
ser-
so well done, and it holds up so tremendously.
Yeah, that's just it. You
And
can
I-
show it to new audiences, and they're just like, "This is
Oh, yeah.
incredible."
And I watched 1917 the other night, and that's a great pick.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
such a great. That was the one shot one, right? Where like most of it was done in one shot.
One,
I
well,
didn't see it, so I don't
there
know.
were some tricks to the trade there, but they tried to make it feel like it was one shot.
Yeah,
it's
and-
really
Oh,
well
that's
done.
very cool.
You should
Yeah.
actually see
Okay.
1917.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
No, it's great.
Thumbs
because-
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I'll have to check it out.
You
Thank
mentioned
you.
you mentioned Dunkirk. I've always wanted to do like a supercut, and edit together Darkest Hour, which was more Churchill based, but they covered
Yeah.
that situation,
Right.
and Dunkirk. And,
Oh, and put 'em together?
and try to do a supercut of one
Ooh.
movie that has cutaways.
I like that.
I might do that at some point if I ever lose my job and all my income and I have just nothing but time.
Okay,
Well-
okay, John. Jesus, man.
All right, so one of my two go-tos are probably Glory, and I'm gonna say Platoon. So there you go.
yeah.
There you go. So Dr. Stinky says, "Say my name, sing it." I did. Say my name. Further to
Okay.
yesterday, UK cinema. He says, "Sing it."
Yeah.
UK cinemas, it's usually overpriced popcorn, sweets, and ice cream for food. Cruddy hot dogs, weak prepackaged nachos. Normally, I want chicken strips, chips, fries, burgers, loaded fries, bacon, and pizza, all at once. More people would go then. Look, I'm not going to try to say like American cinemas are like just amazing food.
No.
Some cinemas are
Some
great.
are great.
There's like iPic theaters. There's AMC dine-ins.
Draft House had really good food.
Draft House and Cineplex.
Cinemark.
Cinemark.
Cinemark just has like
yes.
a convenient, and they have bags of chips, like Doritos bags, and like Pizza Hut. Like they just put
But
it
there, but there are some shining moments that like even AMC would have. ArcLight, when it existed, was great.
Arclight was so great.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you could get such good wine at Arclight. Which
I love
was
the bar. I love the one in
fantastic.
Hollywood, particularly. Well, I like the one in Sherman Oaks too because you had the freeway right there, so it
Yeah,
looked
it was
really
really
cool.
easy.
But the Hollywood one was great. That bar was really elegant, and then you just take your drink into the thing.
You felt fancy.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I do
liked.
agree. We need more choices in the theaters. The only problem with that is the more heavy you get on that stuff, the more longer the lines are.
Yeah.
Like I always mobile.
I order ahead now. Yeah. Yep.
Smart.
We got same name already did. AL says, "What if bringing Wanda back to life becomes a plot point in either Doomsday or Secret Wars? It could be similar to the time travel mission of Endgame or bringing Superman back to life in Justice League, the risky mission that could help win the war." I don't think I want to see that again.
Yeah.
But if you were using what I think we're all thinking is the other versions of her, I mean, she didn't die in Multiverse of Madness, that
Yeah.
one version. So there's obviously other versions. And someone did mention she has a keen sense of like being aware of the multiverse, and Doctor Doom could use that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah, I want her to come back just so we can play around with things like No More Mutants and that House of M series, but you got to build to it.
Except she's going to say all the mutants.
Make mutants, and then we have the X-Men.
Yeah.
That'd be so nice.
All right, we got Send Me Your Blade Scripts, who says the romantic drama We Live in Time brought me to tears multiple times. Such an incredible movie. Andrew and Florence give stellar performances, decent chance for some Oscar buzz. But most importantly, it taught me one thing: he got us. Pork the one you love.
Well,
Did you actually like the movie, or was this all a plot twist?
all to get to the porking.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah.
I still need to go see that one. It's supposed to be beautiful. That's supposed to be a really lovely
I know
film.
some people that went and saw it and they liked it. Yeah.
I need to go.
Anonymous says the 111th Grey Cup is this Sunday. My Argonauts are playing the Blue Bombers in Vancouver. John, what's your favorite Grey Cup memory? Sadly, for the Tabbies, lots of heartbreak over the years. Unfortunately, John is not with us right now. He'll
This
be
is
back
for the
tomorrow. But
Canadian
you know
Football
what?
League?
I'll tell you what, because none of us are going to be able to answer this. So I'm going to go back, Anonymous. So tune in tomorrow. I will reread this question for John,
Aw.
and then he'll answer it, okay?
That's nice.
So
Is
moving
it
on.
Yeah.
football, like football for Americans, or is it football
It
like
is
football in
a-
the UK?
Canadian Football League.
But is
Yeah,
it
but
American
which one
football
is
or
it?
is it soccer?
Are we throwing or are we kicking?
Oh, I have no idea.
There's no
Okay.
pictures?
Oh yeah, right here. Canadian.
Chat, help me out. I'm very sports dumb.
I mean, you'll see if they're playing soccer or if they're playing football.
It's
so.
American style football.
American
okay.
style
Cool.
football.
Thank you
All
guys.
Oh yeah. That's right.
All right. So Anonymous says, today I'm starting an MCU series catch-up. Okay, out of the Disney Plus. So I've only seen WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki season 1. Well, Loki season 2, I love both Lokis.
Yeah.
More
Season 2's fun.
Yeah. So start with season 2 on that. I always make sure to see the newest movies, but I struggle to stay on top of the shows. Hoping it will be fun. I mean, you're gonna have some of it will be,
Yeah.
but not all of it. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Sure. Well,
I mean-
I feel like I'm more of an apologist for the shows than you guys are. Because
Me-
Hawkeye.
no, me too. I'm
I
just
like
saying.
Hawkeye. I think
like
it's a fun
Hawkeye.
Christmas watch.
Right.
Echo, I liked more than you guys too.
I did like that one.
I would say shuffle like Hawkeye and
Move it towards
and,
Christmas.
and Echo. Well, I would say get to those sooner.
Oh.
Unless you want to rip the Band-Aid and just start with She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was a bummer. Again, I don't think it was as tragic as people made it out to be. I thought
just-
there were some really fun things.
My problem was it's like, okay, it rarely made me laugh. Like once in a while.
Sure.
But it was supposed to be a comedy. I also felt like they didn't know how to wedge in the like the fourth wall breaking. They had the best one was in the first episode or when she was with Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
And she does that double take. And then he's like looking at her like, what are you looking at? And that was
Yeah.
really well done. The other ones were just cheap. It was like, well, I got to go to work now. Literally stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just exposition. It wasn't a joke or use where someone was like, who are you talking to? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like they wasted a lot of those.
Sure.
Just in terms of the comedy, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the action was just like whatever. When the wrecking crew was just like, oh, we were given these alien weapons, so now we're gonna get you.
Yeah.
The wrecking crew is supposed to be like sort of powerful themselves. So
Well, and
I don't
I
know.
wish that her main villain too actually was utilized more because
Yeah.
Jamila Jamil I think is an incredible actress, and I would have loved
So
to see more.
it
of
has its issues, but
Yeah.
you'll definitely have
You'll have
some
fun.
fun stuff. And I would say if you haven't seen the shorter stuff, like the Guardians Christmas special, if you want to throw that in.
Yes.
And my favorite, honestly, Disney Plus is still Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night is so good.
I've seen it in color and black and white, and I love them both.
Oh, they're both
Yeah.
fabulous. Oh, highly recommend.
So Anonymous says, no, we read that one. So Nangang says, I love the Penguin, but instead of 2 to 3 more seasons of one character, I'd rather have 2 to 3 limited series with different characters to flesh out Gotham. I'm sure Penguin season 2 would be great, but I'd rather have a Gordon get the HBO treatment. I'm not opposed to that idea, but I think a season 2, if you're wedging it in there between like the Batman 2 and the Batman 3, you can kind of do what Marvel did with the core characters, and then so you had like Iron Man 2 before you even had Captain America 1.
Yeah.
but you could still pepper that in between the next Batman or the third Batman or whatever.
Sure.
Um,
I would just be worried about a Gordon show. Sure, getting the HBO treatment would be different, but wouldn't that feel like a rehashing of the Gotham series?
Yeah.
With young Jim Gordon?
Yeah, I don't know necessarily Gordon.
Yeah.
You could start including Gordon because this one had a lot of the commissioner in it.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who talks
Who
like
I
this.
love.
I know.
Oh, he's great. He's on Black Sails. I love him. Or not Black Sails, excuse me. Oh gosh, what was the one with Taika Waititi? Our Flag Means Death. There we go. Different pirate show.
You could have something like Black Mask or something in this, and Gordon takes a more like front, like what, like a
Runs the investigation or
yeah,
something.
runs
on
the
it.
investigation or whatever, or like a Hush situation we were talking about or something like that, where you start to see a little more of the other characters. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just don't want it saturated.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
So
Love Jeffrey Wright though.
let's
More
see.
of him is always good.
Anonymous says the DC show I'm most excited for is Waller for one reason only. Viola Davis. How they got her to begin with is beyond me. I can't wait to see her be the complicated anti-hero in her own show because I don't think she's ever really had a true character study.
Ooh.
I start to think is she even a anti-hero? I just feel like she's a villain. But
Yeah. I agree with that.
yeah.
Shut.
I don't even think she has that great of like not ambitions. What I'm trying to think, like intentions.
ethics. Oh, sure.
So
Yeah. I think she's past being morally gray and is morally corrupt.
yeah, she's
which is interesting.
Not far from getting thrown in Arkham herself.
Yeah.
Storm Shadow says, I'm an ex-Mormon and felt obligated to see Heretic. Not into horror, but since it was Mormon missionaries, I had to check it out. It's a validating show for people like me who have left that church. How is its box office? I don't know how it's doing.
Not
It's
sure.
do-
Let's see.
Is it doing well? Did you see? I want to see it. I those are your own personal like reasons for seeing it.
Yeah.
It does seem intriguing. Regardless, it could have been Girl Scouts or whatever,
So
or
far-
anyone showing up to the door for me.
Yeah.
To me, it's I brought this up before, but there's a serial killer who went by the name of H.H. Holmes in the early 1900s. Well, he lived even in the 1800s into the early 1900s. And he had what was called the Murder Castle, which was a real hotel in Chicago, but part of it he had converted into rooms that led into hallways that led into dead ends, doors that opened to walls, passageways that just circled you around to another room. The same room you had just left. And this is all real. And it's thought that hundreds of people lost their lives in that. It was centered around the time of the Chicago World's Fair. So he was getting people into that. How this has never been made into an amazing film or series, I don't know.
Did
but
people
it's-
know it was called the Murder Castle? They willingly
well,
go to the Murder Castle, or is that
the
afterwards?
historians would call it the Murder
Okay.
Castle. It had a real name, and he was under the guise of like a wealthy, like successful doctor, which he was. But I think there was even like thoughts that he had experimented on people, like, and dude, the whole thing is crazy.
Oof.
But H.H. Holmes, and this definitely echoes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That crazy trap. What was the box office?
Oh,
Brian?
sorry. It
No,
was
no worries.
it's making most of its money domestically. It's at 11 million domestically and 2.5 international. So
All right.
worldwide 13.5.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I don't think it
and
has a
it's-
huge budget other
It's been
than
in theaters for how long? Well, 5 days. It's
Yeah.
only been
Not
there
even a
it's
week.
pretty
so
early.
That's doing all right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I am interested in that one. And I completely understand you being a former Mormon can absolutely pepper how you want to see and approach this film. I get that. It's part of why Conclave is so interesting to me as a former Catholic. I'm no longer practicing, and I still find all of the inner workings of that really interesting. So it's cool to bring your own lens to that, man. I hope you enjoy it.
Yep.
Have a good time.
David says, "Hi, John. Well, it's us. Sonic 3 has been confirmed to have a post-credit scene. Could it tease Amy Rose?" That's funny because we used to work with Amy Rose Eisenbach. So for a second, I was thinking of her.
Aw.
Who would you like to voice her? An advantage for Amy is that she could be a character that might sing. I think Anna Kendrick would be a nice addition to the cast.
Well, yeah, if you want a famous person, but do you want to save a lot on your budget?
Chris Carr, obviously.
Hi.
Or I would add in Haley.
Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah. I mean, she could sing a little bit, I think.
She can sing, yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. So I
Anna
would.
Kendrick would be cute.
Yep.
All right. Well, there we go.
But also, Paramount, call me.
Yeah.
What's up?
Also, Paramount, don't drop the ball on Sonic 3, please.
Yeah.
There you go. Bry Guy. So this should be fun. Net breaking news. Starbucks coffee mascot is an animated musical film from director Roger Allers of The Lion King and Spyglass Media Group with original songs by Johnny Rzeznik. You really like Johnny Rzeznik? You use it. Oh, Goo Goo Dolls. I'm catching a theme here. And voice actresses E.G. Daily. So Starbucks coffee mascot. Oh, okay. So like on the cup.
So the mermaid, the siren?
Yeah, the
was
mermaid.
on there.
So
Voiced by E.G. Daly. That's a good choice. Tommy Pickles, solid. Well done.
You know why it's a mermaid?
Why?
You know why it's called Starbucks?
Why?
It's inspired by the character Starbuck from Moby Dick.
Oh,
Oh, I'm looking up Starbucks the musical.
wow.
And it's
So
about
nautical.
it's about a deer. Starbucks
Well,
the musical.
There you go.
There you go. It's a deer.
That's adorable looking, Ray. Oh my god.
That's Starbucks, but it's
Starbucks.
Yeah,
they're
Starbucks as in the
bucks
bucks.
that are stars.
Okay.
Sif Ellis says, speaking of, have you tasted a 15-year-old today by meaning that a liquor?
Oh, geez.
Here are some movies that are 15 years old this year. Inglorious Bastards is still my favorite Tarantino
Oh,
film.
absolutely. Same here.
Law-Abiding Citizen. Wow. 9. Remember that? It was like stop motion. Or it was CGI. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Star Trek. So the first one of the Kelvin. Human Centipede. Well,
Whoa.
we'll skip that one.
Heck yeah.
Zombieland. I enjoyed the first Zombieland. Never saw the second. Transformers 2. Yeah, it was all downhill from there. It should have been the subtitle. The Hangover and The Proposal. So that's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Can't believe those are 15 years old.
15 years of human centipede jokes.
For a second there, I thought he was doing his top 10 list of favorite movies.
No, these are all 15.
Oh, okay.
That'd be a strange.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There you go. Anonymous, I never really agreed with your long-held Disney what? I must be having a stroke. Your long-held thoughts on Daenerys was always going to break bad. I somewhat get it now because for a video game IP, I'm looking at a character who's clearly a supervillain and no one else seems to notice.
Well, John's not here to defend this point.
I'm not sure who you're
and
referring to, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, the whole, like, I always knew she was going to be bad for episode 1.
Right.
How? And no, you didn't.
Well, I knew she was bad to begin with because she was ruthless
Yeah,
and she
Right.
wanted power.
sure.
So, and I wasn't that shocked that she was like, well, I'm going to destroy all these people because they chopped her best friend's head off in front of her. And they kept getting
Spoilers.
and
Jeez, man.
if they haven't seen it, they haven't seen
I'm
it.
still on season
And
1.
and it gets it gets
gets
better.
Pretty
Sorta.
bleak.
If you're into beheadings. And I mean, so I could see that because she was just boiling and boiling and boiling over until it was like, okay, that's it. Whatever. So that I'm not opposed to that.
Once
what am I
she killed all
opposed to?
like, the women and children in the town and stuff, though, those were things that I was like, that's not what her
Because
character
she was
would
like, they all
do.
supported her. I'm like, I would have been more like, just take out the castle and
Yeah,
and the
that would have
army.
made sense. But,
But
yeah, it
yeah,
was
she
the,
destroyed everybody.
the entire
At
fire
which
sale.
at which point is like, well, I gotta kill her.
God,
because
Yeah.
guys, spoilers. 10-year rule.
I didn't like what they did with all the dragons because I
Ray,
think they were like,
you all
well,
said so much stuff about
Jon Snow
freaking
can't.
Penguin yesterday.
Yeah.
10-year rule, okay?
Yeah.
You give a series 10 years until you can spoil it.
Yeah,
Give us people
I think
a
we've
chance
gotten close to
catch
that.
Yeah.
But what I didn't like were all the numerous storylines. They were just like, nah, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of annoyed me.
Fair.
Just it needed 2 more seasons. Anonymous says, James Gunn's Superman and DCU as a whole, do they ditch secret identities? I see a lot of people think they're outdated and it worked for the MCU. But personally, especially with DC characters, I'd rather they stick with them where possible. Well, Batman, he needs to be.
He has to have a secret identity.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Well, and also, did they ditch secret identities entirely in Marvel, where no one knows who Peter Parker is again?
Right.
And he had, for a long time, a limited amount of people who knew who
I mean,
he was.
for the most part, Daredevil's still a secret.
Yep.
And yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's certain people where they're like, well, they're already agents for the government. So
yeah.
them being Hawkeye or whatever is not going to be like, well, I got a target on my back. It's like, you're a government agent.
Yeah.
That's already like fairly public and whatever. So,
Exactly.
yeah, but for some characters, I think it's important.
Mhm.
So now we're going to move on to our members here.
Ooh.
Espinoza says, hey, crew, just bought Saturday Night on digital yesterday after seeing it in theaters opening weekend. I saw it opening too. I loved it. Love this movie. The cast was amazing. Dylan O'Brien and Matt Wood were spot on as Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, respectively. But the film doesn't answer the one question SNL has had for 50 years. What's the deal with the llama? Yeah, but you know what? It was great. Did you see
I
it
still
Saturday
remember
night?
it was gone so quickly from Regal.
Yeah.
Which was so frustrating.
Okay, well, you know what? Then you go to AMC. You just make the tough decisions
I'm
and you
not
go.
going to spend more money when I already have a pass. I don't get paid enough money to do these things,
Get
Jonathan.
A-list.
These tips ain't going to me. All right.
Haven't you ever gone into debt? It's fun.
Gone into debt. That's where I live.
Yeah, that's my safety zone.
I feel cozy.
My comfort
Is
zone.
this a therapy session for you guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Just
It's
playing.
been rough.
Ray's just make.
I know.
He doesn't like it
'cause
'cause he
Ray's
paid his
doing
debt.
great. Yeah.
No, I'm just,
Ray's thriving.
Ray's paying his debt to society.
yeah.
I remain a menace.
This question was about what?
I don't know. Matt says
Saturday
hello.
night. Oh, thanks for pointing that out. That it's you can actually purchase that on digital. I do want to watch
Yeah,
that.
I do
film.
want to see
Yeah,
it.
it's good. It's fun. Matt says hello. Says, hey John, good news. Your film Philip the Sentient Microphone has finally been greenlit. Pick one option. Steven Spielberg directs. Dan Day-Lewis stars. John Williams scores.
I'll go with John Williams scores.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Just because it's gonna be a shit movie, so you got to have like the, the good sound,
Well, I will if you only have him scoring it. Boy.
Well, he wants us to pick one of those three.
You know what? Daniel Day-Lewis as a microphone. I'm gonna go that way.
I'm gonna go with John Williams score.
I like John Williams' score.
Yeah.
There
I'll
you
with
go.
that one.
Rachel Knight Online says, do you ever think we'll get a successful adult animation industry for a film the same way we have one for television? American Dad, South Park, and by adult animation, she means like this stuff here, not tentacle
Yeah.
porn.
Yeah.
But American Dad, South Park, Bob's Burgers, etc. These shows are fairly commonplace, but it seems like every time a movie comes out, i.e. Sausage Party or Bigger, Louder, Uncut, they seem to be mostly novelty.
Yeah,
It's hard
that's
to say.
unfortunate. But
Yeah.
I am watching this new show, and I really like it. I'm not sure if anyone else is watching it. It's Universal Basic Guys. I think it comes
I've seen
on.
billboards for this.
And I don't know. I'm getting really attached to the show. So if you guys haven't seen that show, check it out.
There you go.
But yeah, Chris, you had something to say about the animated movies?
Oh, for those kind of
The translations
novelty.
to the box office. Like Bob's Burgers just had a movie.
They did that
come out.
movie and I liked it.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't
was
necessarily
charming as
adult
heck.
though, because everybody could see
No.
that.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about making money of those movies, I don't think it'll ever get to a point where a TV to theater. I hope it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that more people like are used to watching those shows at home.
Yeah.
Like on their couch. I
Yeah.
don't know if that translates to getting them off to go into
It's
the
a
theater
hard
and spend money,
transition.
you know?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
plus these shows are on Channel 11 where it's local to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you don't need cable. You just need an antenna. And getting into the theater, even just for special movies, is hard for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
can imagine for
Sure. Well, and also I think a lot of times movies that are raunchy for the sake of raunchy, like the Sausage Party kind of things too, of like,
Right.
well, it's an animated film, but we're gonna talk about dicks a lot. It is a novelty that you have to have great characters and great storytelling. You can be raunchy or you can be not. You know, you can do really blue humor,
Right.
but if you aren't invested in those characters in that story, then it is gonna just fall flat.
and even with the South Park movie, it's like towards the end, it was just like, oh, I had enough of these jokes. I could figure it's the same way with the.
I think the
Sausage
one
Party,
that did the best for
novelty.
me was Team America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
I
you
love
know,
that movie.
again, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get away from the novelty of it. Oh, did these just come through? Hang on. Okay, so old Danny Boy says 2 contributing factors I believe will affect Red One is the Tyson fight on Friday
Oh yeah.
and UFC on Saturday.
Oh.
Not major factors, but counts for something. Gonna take my daughter on Sunday. That counts for the people that are gonna see those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you make a good point though. If you're gonna see those things, but you also had kids, then that's even more tickets. So you do make a good point. It will definitely have an effect. I don't know that it's enough where it's like
Right.
20 million less or 10 million less than it should be, but
Yeah.
definitely in the millions.
I believe like the Red One will actually make more money during its release, not opening, just like throughout, because there's nothing opening until Wicked, Moana, and the other big hitter that's coming out. What's the other one? I can't think of it at the top of my head, but
Well-
it's got a little bit of time in the theater by itself, is what I'm
Did you
saying.
say Mufasa?
Mufasa.
Yeah.
That's
Chris is going for that one.
Yeah, so it
I
can't-
just
it can't
don't
make money.
care. I'll probably see it. I just am like, oh yeah,
There you
What
go.
movie?
Mufasa.
Oh yeah.
Like I know what happens
I
to him.
know, man.
But how? Well, we know that too. Chip Crisper says, hey, crew, Jonathan mentioned H.H. Holmes tattletale, and how a film should be made about him. They are a nonfiction book called Devil in the White City is being adapted by
Oh yeah.
Scorsese and DiCaprio. I can't believe
Devil in
that.
the
That's
White
incredible.
City. That's
Been in the
right.
works for a while. Still a go as per deadline. Okay, I'm looking into that and I'm reading that book, dude. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
that's awesome.
That's right. We did report that a little while back. Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, look, they're taking it seriously. Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Boom.
Damn.
They listen to me. I'm glad.
That's
they
really good.
finally these guys are listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take
About
full
You are,
credit.
time.
You are Matt Reeves.
Amin says Gladiator 2 reviews seem quite positive. Already certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Seems like Ridley might actually be back. Well, back. Yeah, I guess for this. Still waiting for full reviews for Wicked. But what's your opening weekend box office prediction for these two films now?
Ooh.
Wicked, I go 100.
Yeah.
I
Wicked's
say
gonna have a big opening.
There may be a little bit more.
Gladiator.
I'll go 60.
65.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's probably right in that.
Random.
Yeah, not me. I'm just
No.
the copycat. I just coattails over here. All right. Rob Buck says, "Hey crew, and John, don't know if you finished season 3 of Vox Machina. I thought it was a great time from the start to finish. That was on Amazon, right?
It is on Amazon. I watched the first 2 episodes, I
I did
think, and then
too.
I just fell off. I
Yeah,
never
me too.
came
I
back.
just never remember to go back.
Yeah. It seems fun.
And what's unfortunate is if I don't continue a series, a lot of other things start coming out during that time, and it just keeps getting further down the line,
Yeah.
and then it's forgotten. But hopefully one day I'll get bored and feel like watching something like that and return to
Definitely
it.
do.
All right, we
Also-
got 4 more.
Okay, 4 more.
So we got Jonathan here who says, "Hey everyone, I have a theory based on Mission Impossible trailer that it will center on a mission that requires a major plot point of each of the previous films, character place or MacGuffin, like Rabbit's Foot from MI3. And Ethan and crew need to collect all of the Infinity Stones in Endgame, thus perfectly tying the whole series together into an overarching saga." Well, I don't know if you perfectly tie it together if in the final movie you're like, "Oh, by the way, you need all these things."
Yeah.
I do feel like it leans towards some nostalgia though, because you had oh gosh,
Angela Bassett.
well yeah, but then you have why can't I think of his name? Kittredge, where he's like, all these moments have led to this, and then they kind of in the trailer they cut to those things,
Sure.
and they cut to some old footage. But will that old footage be reused in the new movie? I don't know. I think it's possible. I don't know if they have to get every single thing. Like, are they going to get the toxin from MI3? I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they going to, I don't know.
I feel like you can use some of those things as a jumping off point too, but do a new story. Do some new fun stuff.
But obviously there's something there
Yeah.
that it leans into the nostalgia that everything is.
Sure.
But then again, everything I've ever done my entire life led to this moment right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's how time works, and I'm living through
It
the
moves in a
space-time
linear
continuum.
fashion. Yeah.
So there you go. Risky Pin says, "Hey John and crew, new photos from Sonic 3 online. Does this mean we could see a second trailer coming for its release? When is its release? Do we remember? It's December. or-
December. Shoot.
Here,
Let me see.
Sonic 3. It is coming out in December 20th. So we might get
okay.
one more. You're definitely going to get some TV spots.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll get one more full trailer, but maybe. Yeah, it's more than a month away, so I could see one more full trailer.
Sure.
Yeah.
I also just don't think there's really a big need for one.
What else are you going to say? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, the stories aren't that deep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun. They're cute.
We get Shadow. We already know about that situation.
Well, and then there's
Let's go
just
from
the cost of it. It's like, do they go with that when it's not? I mean, it's not going to be a $1 billion
He looks so
franchise or
cute.
film.
Did you say Shadow looks so cute?
Look at him. He's so mad.
We can't look at him because
Oh,
it's
sorry.
on your screen.
But yeah, I guess Entertainment Weekly, I guess, released some new images.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And here's a middle.
But I don't
one.
know that that's going to equate, because what's the cost benefit of that? How much is this film going to make to release a third? I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what else are they going to show? We got Joe who says, "Hi John and crew, did you watch the Substance yet? It was very disturbing. I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen." Interesting, because I couldn't not keep my eyes off the screen. So it's interesting that you said that.
I'm never gonna see this movie.
Yeah, it sounds super
Oh,
traumatizing.
I had Amy tell me the end. She
Yeah.
acted it out for me.
Yeah, they really pushed the envelope there. Final one from Maverick. We got-
Maverick.
All right, Mav. Bring us home, baby. I saw 3 movies last week. Heretic, great. Elevation, boring. Red One, surprisingly fun, which is what we've heard.
A level 4 naughty lister?
Have you seen any of them, or are you planning to see them? Red One had an early screening last Sunday.
Oh, nice.
I'm glad he liked Red
Yeah.
One. There you go. See, I could trust in the community. I can't trust in Rotten Tomatoes, but I can trust in our community.
There you
No,
go.
no, I'm serious.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm-
like I don't need the critic reviews for Red One. It's one of those ones.
Like, you know what you're getting
it's
into.
Christmas. You've seen the trailers.
yeah, I don't.
Still watch it.
I don't need to know what the film's thesis statement is. You know, I just want to go see them like fight with polar bears
Yeah,
and
it's Christmas.
triumph
Come on.
over the evil situation that's trying to derail Christmas.
You know how there's usually the romantic comedies or whatever, the Hallmark movies is what I'm saying for Christmas.
Yes, I love
They're
them.
giving us a different take. It's like, boys, the real rugged Christmas.
Like, you gotta smack each other in the face with it, slap.
Yeah, you get it under mistletoe and then just wrestle.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think we've seen a lot of the same stuff in the trailers that we've got. The 2
Yeah.
trailers we've gotten. So what's beyond that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
And the movie's like 2 hours from what I saw. I was like, a Christmas movie doesn't have to be that long.
No.
Especially a movie like this, but
No.
250 million?
Maybe you can
yeah,
get
you have
some-
to make it like 3 or 4
Get
hours.
some nice
say.
cozy. Like if does Regal have a bar too?
Yes, it does.
So get that's right, because you said you're gonna drink there, and
Yeah.
So get some nice like Christmas themed cocktails.
Oh my gosh. A little
with-
hot cocoa with some schnapps.
Well, yeah, that or like just something with some nutmeg in it or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Here's
a little
a-
spiked eggnog.
Here's a question I want to point to you guys. Elevations, front guys, Anthony Mackie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This
we
felt
haven't
like it
really
was
seen him lead.
straight to streaming, but
We haven't really seen him lead. Oh yeah, it didn't. It's straight to streaming, so it's not.
it's
the
in theaters, but it's not doing good.
Does that have any worries? Do you think for Captain America 4?
No.
No.
Like,
I don't
is there
think
any
so.
translation that we could take from any?
No one is going to see Captain America 4 because
I
Anthony
know,
Mackie is
I know,
leading it.
but-
Yeah,
But
and
he's
also
not going to
it's-
hurt it either.
I like Anthony Mackie.
It's a
I
very
think,
different story too, though.
Yeah, and I think it's his time to be in the front.
Oh,
has
he's an
come.
incredible actor. He's Juilliard trained. He's magnificent.
He's very
1.2
enthusiastic.
million for Elevation so far. So.
Elevation it's a post-apocalyptic.
It kind of reminds me of
flick,
Last
isn't
of
it?
Us, but with like
Yeah.
in the winter.
Quiet Place more to me, but
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Quiet Place. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
But anyway, yeah, no, I don't think he makes or breaks Captain America 4. I think it's going to be, was this action-packed, fun, great, intriguing story? Does it lead us forward?
Yeah,
Or does it just open up the rabbit hole more, which we don't
Uh,
want?
exactly.
What I wish at the end of Captain America 4 is that it's clear that Anthony Mackie is the new leader of this Avengers team. That's
Hell
what I
yeah.
want it to end with. Like, I just need a leader, and he seems to be the one that is positioned to be. Hopefully, we get some sort of guide after for the Avengers movies that are coming up, because we don't have a leader.
No.
Yeah.
The Avengers don't have.
We
a
don't
leader.
have an
They don't have a
Avengers.
team.
No.
We don't have
Who
Avengers.
is on the lunch?
I mean, we
box?
know that Avengers Tower, it's Thunderbolt, so we really
Yeah.
don't have a team. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, that's all we got, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Chris. and You can get us out of here.
Sweet. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us so we could talk about these wonderful topics and writing in and giving each other memberships and everything. You guys are the best. We can't do this without you. So thank you so much for being here. The guys will be back here tomorrow to do another show with you. I'll be back Friday. But in the meantime, thanks so much, Ray Ora.
See you guys later.
Thanks so much, Jonathan Voico.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, dear listener. I've been Chris Carr. Have a great day. Stay curious, stay kind, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.